We first got started in the wine business. So I was a foreign exchange student in France when I was in high school. And as a young 17-year-old kid, I could legally go out to the vineyards, and my friends and I all consumed a little bit of wine, but also I got to talk with some of the vineyard owners, the older folks who had worked the grounds and grew the grapes for many years. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I'd always wanted to, it kind of inspired me to be one of those guys that really knew the land, really praised the grapes for the quality of work that they did, and got to share that advice with others. I wanted to do that as I got older. So we moved back here to the States, joined the military at 18, bounced around all over the United States, and everywhere we went, my wife and I, we would give physical labor to a local vineyard and winery in exchange for the knowledge. And so throughout the years, we just kind of, that bug was always in us. We would love to grow our own grapes. And so we finally were able to move here to Smiths Grove, Kentucky, and just right outside of Bowling Green. And we had some acreage, and we said, we're going to do it. We're going to plant some grapevines. And once the vines got bigger and started producing, we said, well, we should probably start making wine with it. And then once we did that, people started buying it, and it just kind of got bigger from there.
So first of all, thank you all very much for coming. It's really nice for us to get to meet new folks, but also see old friends that come by every so often. We really couldn't do this all by ourselves. We've got a baby due on Monday, so trying to do all this work by ourselves would just be impossible. So it's really awesome to see so many folks come out here for this. We're going to do 2 rows primarily, and then we're going to just kind of peruse some other rows just to make sure we didn't miss anything from the last few weekends.
You're going to see a lot of folks who are there for the first time, who've never been in a vineyard. They're going to be excited to see the grapes as purple as they are, get to pull some off and eat some.
So today we're going to do a Villard Noir. It's a French-American hybrid variety. It's very productive. It's got some really good clusters on it. As you go through there, pull a berry off and eat it. That's part of the fun of being out here. So pull a couple off, eat them. They have seeds in them, so feel free to spit the seeds out if you want to. The seeds are kind of bitter.
Their grapevines grow really well on top of rocky soil, and if you dig about a ½ inch where we're at, you're going to hit straight limestone. It's all rock. So it's a real challenge to dig holes out there. But once you get the vines in there and get them going, the vines have to struggle a little bit to really flourish. But like kids, if you give your kids everything they could ever ask for, they don't produce as well as they could have. Whereas the grapevines are the same way. If you give vines super rich soil, they'll overproduce grapes and none of them will taste very good. If you make them struggle to send their roots down into that rocky soil and to get all the nutrients and the water that they need, they produce fewer grapes, but the ones they do are very excellent quality. And so our position right there on top of Mammoth Cave, between Bowling Green and Cave City, is a very ideal spot. It really is. And we've got the rolling hills, so we don't ever have standing water. So our biggest issue really is the humidity. We have to spray fungicide quite a bit. So aside from that, the place where we're at in Smiths Grove is really conducive for growing grapes. We don't have a quota as to how much we want to get. As long as people come out and they're happy and we sit back and have lunch together, have t-shirts, it's great for us. So that's our biggest thing, I guess, is to make sure that everybody leaves well fed, they're happy, they got some good photos. The real thing is when they go back, once we're done harvesting, they go to press the grapes. You start to see that juice flowing. People's eyes just light up. We have a lot of kids that come out. It's a very family-oriented thing, so we'll get kids that come out there and try to stomp on the grapes. They don't get a lot of juice out. They don't weigh very much, right? But a little bit of juice will come out, but their eyes light up. They have big smiles on their faces. A lot of fun for us. One of the nice things about us growing and producing our own fruit, whereas other wineries in the region will typically buy from New York or California, we can certify that all of our stuff is grown within 15 miles of our winery. It brings everybody together. It's a very community-oriented thing. Again, that if a winery just gets juice from a faraway land, you don't get that kind of relationship, not only with the land but with your neighbors. We're really proud of all the work that we've done. Many hours of work put into creating the vineyard and creating the winery, but none of it would have happened without our neighbors. I know I've said that once before, but they've come in, our neighbors have helped us plant the grapes, they've helped us harvest the grapes, they've helped us paint the winery, they've helped us decorate the winery, they've babysat our kids when we were busy doing other things.
Keep taking my grapes.
There's nothing that we could have accomplished without our neighbors. Some of the full-time employees that we have are neighbors. The lady who lives across the street from us, she's our one full-time employee. We really consider her like family. They come over to eat a couple nights a week. They'll have us over at their house every once in a while. Yeah, it's just their kids are really good friends with our kids. It's really more than what we could have ever asked for. It's not something that I initially thought I'd ever do. I never thought I'd own my own business. And I think maybe a lot of people say that when they first start off as well. We took something that was a hobby and we continued it. We always said that we would continue doing it as long as we kept having fun. And we're still having fun. We're still meeting a lot of really new people, getting to travel other cities here in western and south central Kentucky. I don't know, and the thought that maybe someday our children can experience the same thing. It's not something that I had growing up from my parents. My parents worked a lot of really difficult jobs to get to where they were able to get to. And so I guess part of me hopes that maybe one day our children will pick up on, get the wine bug or the grape growing bug and take over. If not, that's okay too, but I guess there's an option for them. I saw a bumper sticker once that said, I wasn't born in Kentucky, but I got here as quickly as I could. And there's some truth to that. It's a really good place to live. It's a great place to raise family. It's a good place to be.